sexy for books again. Just gonna put that on right there. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. It's Alyssa. And if I'm in a onesie and sitting in the corner, it can mean one thing and one thing only. I am in the mood to read some 1-star reviews of books that I love. And I meant to grab the book. I don't know where the book is. My life's a mess. If you followed NaNoWriMo vlogs, you would know my life's a mess. So we're gonna tuck that there. This is my Christmas onesie. I think it's supposed to be a bear, a Christmassy bear. Anywho, so I thought, and I will just put up a graphic of the book because I want to read Blood and Honey before the end of the year. I'm gonna take my glasses off too so there's no glare. I wanted to read Blood and Honey by the end of the year. It's one of my goals to finish that book before the end of the month. And I thought, as encouragement for that, we would read 1-star reviews of Serpent Dove. Because the great Reads with Cindy has the ultimate 1-star review, which is an entire video long 1-star review. Has to be more out there. Now, the 2 disclaimers for this video. 1, I'm only doing these videos on books that I actually love because I'm not here to just put hate out on books. I am here to laugh at some well-written, snarky comments about books that I love. So that's where I'm coming from. Please don't be going and giving authors hate or anything. Like, whenever you make anything creative and you put it out into the world, there's going to be people who love it and there's going to be people who hate it. And sometimes when people dislike things, they do so in a funny way. So let's laugh at people that don't like books that I love. Second, there will be spoilers. I'm fairly certain there will be spoilers. There were spoilers last time. There will be spoilers this time. I'm bringing my computer this time because I can do that. I couldn't do that last time. And I am going to get started. And what's funny is, so I sorted my Goodreads. I have my Goodreads up for Serpent and Dove, and I sorted it by 1-star ratings, which I couldn't do on my phone the last time because Goodreads is a garbage site and I don't use it except for these videos. The first one is Reads with Cindy, probably because it has the most likes. Let's see, we'll start with Reads with Cindy, shall we? All right, she says, "This is one of the most ridiculous books I've read this year, and it's only January. It has such an absurd setup for the plot, clumsy characterizations, and the humor lands very poorly. I cringed every time the main character sang loudly, 'Big Titty Liddy.' I did like the one sex scene, though. I thought Big Titty Liddy was freaking hilarious, so I just think Reads with Cindy hates everything. You don't need to hate everything. Don't take everything so seriously, girl, okay? Anyway, here we go. I'm not gonna say who anybody else is. I'm only gonna say who Reads with Cindy is because we all know who Reads with Cindy is. And I should probably be screenshotting these as I go, right? Yeah, probably.
Too long. I don't want a long diatribe. I want funny, witty banter.
All right. If I ever have to see the words Big Titty Liddy again, I'm gonna set myself on fire. Give me all the Big Titty Liddy. Give it to me. Aww. Me searching for Reed's personality. All the emojis. Anyway, I knew this shit was bananas the moment she said her eyes were turquoise. I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. Oh, girl, we gotta describe eyes somehow. Come on. What do you want her to say they are? Oh, lordy.
You know, people, I don't want 97-page long reviews. I want quick, to the point, funny reviews.
Kids, calm down. It's not that serious. We don't need to write 47,000 words on this. There's 1,000 1-star reviews, and most of them are like 16 paragraphs. Calm down. This is no fun if you're going to write me an actual essay on why you dislike the book. I almost want snarky one-liners. Can we do that, please? Ooh, this one's harsh. My expectations were low, but I definitely wasn't expecting that. The main characters are both awful and misogynistic. The romance is boring and nonsense. The plot is laughable if we pretend there is a plot. There's a plot. This book is sexist, transphobic. Transphobic? Huh, where's that one? I'm not gonna argue that it's not. I don't know what the example is. I would like the example. If you know the example, please tell me down below. I'm curious. Poorly planned and seems to have been written decades ago. I am disgusted. This is the moment where I realized maybe I should have picked a different book. If I had known beforehand that Sarah J. Maas loved this book, then I would have saved myself some time, energy, and brain cells and simply not picked it up in the first place. Oh. Seriously, like, why does everybody hate Sarah J. Maas so much? Like, I mean, she's not freaking Shakespeare, but you know what she is? She's a good little storyteller. She writes things that people enjoy. Like, back off. Like, I would kill to be Sarah J. Maas. Like, wouldn't you? Her husband's hot. She writes hot books. She probably makes a butt ton of money from it. Stop being jelly. Well, words currently fail me to express how ridiculous this book was, so here is a summary. No. I feel some of my friends getting really angry if they do this. I do have to agree, I don't think the world building is great in this book, but I think the feels are great in it. Like, I enjoy the feelings of it. It makes me happy. Every once in a while, you select a silly, fun book, and it surprises you by being compulsively readable and emotionally affecting, transcending cliche and developing unique and engrossing characters, making you want to stay in the world a lot longer. This was not that book. I'm sorry, person. I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't like my favorite book ever, but I thought it was... Oh. I hate scrubbed my kitchen while listening to Serpent Dove at 2.5 speed. Apparently there can only be one Sarah J. Maas on my plane of existence. I don't think this is... Why all the SJM comparisons? Because it's like a fantasy? Why? Why? Someone explain. Explain me. Oh, maybe this is why? Because I haven't read it. Someone's saying it's got a lot of comparisons to Throne of Glass. I've never read Throne of Glass. Perhaps that's what it is. Oh, DNF'd at 20%. I tried, y'all. But the writing is horrendous, the world building is thin, and there are 0 characters with any redeeming qualities. I'll just stick to fan fiction if I want a fake marriage plot that's actually interesting. Is it really a fake marriage though? Because like they're actually married. They're just made to marry for false it's more of like a forced marriage than a fake marriage. Like it's a real marriage. Like they really are married. This is not a joke. This just ends with thank you for coming to my TED Talk, so I feel like we have to read this. This is one of the worst books I've ever read. Honestly, I knew it would be bad going into it, but I thought it would be a trashy fun bad. But oh god, why hasn't it ended yet? The 2 main characters are insufferable caricatures of themselves. The setting made no sense. The plot made no sense. There was some lady named Big Titty Liddy. Everything was awful. Now I want to die. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Why does everybody hate Big Titty Liddy? I don't understand. What did Big Titty Liddy ever do to you? Seriously. I mean, I'm Tiny Titty Alyssa, and I support Big Titty Liddy. You know, we gotta stick together, girls. I should have drank for this. Whoa. People really dislike this book. Holy. Wow. Okay. Why is this bothering me more than Crave? I don't know. This took so long to read because, well, it reads like an SJM book. Why does everybody hate Sarah J. Maas? So after learning that Shelby loves Sarah J. Maas, I'm not all that surprised. I did it. I finished it out of spite, and now I can't wait to move on to something good. This book is part of the reason I'm moving to adult fiction. I almost can't stand YA anymore. Not even kidding when I say this is the worst book I've read since Kingdom of Ash, and we all know how I felt about that book. Okay, I do not stan Sarah J. Maas like a lot of people do, but like, I respect her. She writes some good, addicting books. Like, I don't need everything to be highbrow, but like, dude, it's reading. Relax. I don't know how many more of these I can do. I feel like I'm angry. Yikes, I really tried to like this book. It's so problematic, and on top of that, boring. The dialogue is so weird. It's lacking some major world building and, well, a plot. It's also more romance than fantasy, which is fine, but I didn't sense any chemistry whatsoever between the two characters. I'm disappointed that I didn't like it. I will say that the world building, if you read a lot of adult fantasy, it leaves something to be desired. I will say that. But that's fine. I'm not mad at it. I still enjoyed my experience. DNF'd at 66%. Look, I read the sex scene, a well done one, and still didn't give one shit about anyone or anything. Shit world building, the characters are like cartoon versions of people, the magic isn't developed, and the plot setup is ridiculous. I thought the magic, I didn't hate the magic because the magic is limiting. I don't like when there's like unlimited magic, so basically like she has to give up something to use her magic, and I like that. Like that is part of like for me a good magic system. I don't know if that magic system was particularly like robust enough for me, but like I wasn't mad about the magic system. But imagine if I don't know. Picking this book for my book club and therefore making myself read it is possibly one of the worst decisions of my life. If this is the worst decision of your life is going pretty good, sweetheart. I'm just gonna say, 2020 has been a roller coaster where you're sitting in a dumpster fire and your hair gets stuck in the track and scalps you. So if this is the worst decision of your life, kudos. You're doing great, sister, and I would like your life. Let's do like 5 more, if I can find 5 that aren't entire essays on why this book is apparently terrible. This is 500 pages of romance with no plot until the last handful of pages. Literally nothing happens after they marry except witty banter. I love Lou, but even Lou and Reed's banter wasn't enough to save me from my boredom. I will say when I read it, I remember direct messaging one of my Instagram friends, and who was also reading it and was like, oh my God, just finished it. She was like, oh my God, you have to. Like, this book's so good. Isn't it so good? I'm like, oh, I kind of want to DNF it. The beginning is a little rough. I will say that. The beginning is a little rough. But then I got hooked and I liked it. So I don't. People are so mean, Jesus. Okay. The one thing I wanted out of this book was a satisfying enemies to lovers romance. Did I get it? No. I almost definitely did not. And to not make up for it, I got a story full of cliches and mediocre writing and characters. I didn't necessarily hate it. I was just so indifferent and constantly rolling my eyes while reading it that somehow I think it's worse. So yeah, not my cup of tea. Sorry, I forgot my phone was on. 1 star. It seemed promising at first until it started to feel like everything was happening so the marriage of the 2 main characters would happen. The Archbishop was almost comical. I couldn't read the rest. The Archbishop is kind of stupid. I re-listened to this in anticipation of reading Blood and Honey before the end of the year so that I could refresh myself, because I read this last year. And yeah, he's just kind of awful, that Archbishop. A waste of potential and my time. Things that worry me going into this novel, the ridiculous hype surrounding it, and the publisher thinking this book is more appealing to readers if they quote Sarah J. Maas on the cover. Again, someone explain to me why everyone hates Sarah J. Maas so much. Like, she writes like guilty pleasure reads. Yes, she could use the word ma less. Yes, the word mate has been destroyed because of her. But like, people enjoy her books. Just deal with it. Seriously, like, the amount of people who've written like complete essays of why they hate this book. It's just astounding. Sadly, DNFing this at the 150 mark, I see that this is a very polarizing book, and I can see why. It's too poorly constructed to really get me going, unfortunately. My students love this book, so I really wanted to like it. But I promised myself a while ago that if I found that I was having to begrudgingly convince myself to pick up the book, even after 100 to 150 pages, that it was time to move on, and that has happened. Sad face. Well, that's sad. But, you know, at least this person's like, it's just not for me. Like, it's cool. She's not being mean about it. She's just like, it's cool. Like, isn't that the way it is? Like, not every book is for everybody. This book was beyond problematic to me. I really don't get the hype at all. None of the characters showed much appeal. The humor didn't land the way it was intended, and the one part about the plot that I was interested in, the magic system, was barely touched on. Overall, just not feeling the same love for this book as everyone else. I thought that there are two different magic systems that were interesting. I thought it was interesting. I'm hoping that in Blood and Honey she goes into it more. But we'll see, because it's interesting to start off a series with your love interests getting married, because like usually that's what drives you through to the end, and you're like, I need them to get together, or not get together, but I need the resolution, and when the resolution comes, that's usually when the series ends. So it's interesting that she front-loaded that. So there's got to be more world building in the rest of it, right? I don't know. Two more. I don't know, I keep saying I'll do a couple more, and then I read like 97 more. So DNF'd at 23%. The lack of world building makes this book rather bland. I would be mostly fine with the sexism and hatred towards women if the world was built up more to back it all up. Other than that, the characters are bland, and while I don't mind slow burning stories, this one was far too boring to keep reading. Also, the reason for certain points to occur were rather daft. I just love British people. Daft is a fantastic word. Everyone has better words than us. Americans, we need to work on our slang and our terminology, because there are way better words we could be using. It got better towards the end, though still a far cry from being a good read for me. Still can't stand most of the characters except the Blood Witch. Their plot still felt all over the place, and I really hate that kind of cliffhanger at the end. Yeah, I think that Coco's kind of cooler than Lou, but that's just me. Coco's definitely a more interesting character. And we're gonna end on a message from a very special person. I didn't like this. Sorry. Big Titty Liddy. Wow, okay, so this was definitely like a lot more frustrating than the Crave and Crush one I did. I don't know how I feel about this. This is not like my favorite book. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like this is my favorite book. It's not my favorite book. It 100% has problematic points in it. It is not perfect. It is far from perfect. It needs a little bit more world building. It needs, I hope that book 2 gives me more magic system and world building, so that some of the decisions that were made in book 1 make more sense now because you have book 2. But I still really enjoyed it. I enjoy witty banter. That's why I like hate to love romances, or enemies to lovers, or whatever you want to call it. It's because there's usually really good banter, and I enjoyed their banter. I enjoy a Big Titty Liddy joke. Why does everybody hate Big Titty Liddy so much? I mean, I feel like we need to protect Big Titty Liddy from all of the angry book reviewers in the world, because I think that they are judging her harshly, and it's not right. Poor Big Titty Liddy. I don't know if this made me excited or just angry. I was hoping that this was going to make me excited to read Blood and Honey, and I'm still excited to read it, but now I'm just kind of like,
what the hell are they saying about Blood and Honey?
I'm going to have to read it and then go back on Goodreads and find out all the snark that's coming for that book, because I'm sure there's some for that. Because apparently if you have anything related to Sarah J. Maas, the world hates you. I don't get it. I still don't get it. I'll say it again. She writes best-selling cult fandom books. She makes probably a butt ton of money from it. Her husband's hot. Why y'all hating on her? You are just jealous. You are just jealous of Sarah J. Maas. You want a hot partner, successful career, and a butt ton of money. That's what you want. That's what we all want. Basic. We all want an attractive partner. You can define attractive. I don't care. However you define attractive. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be intellectual, it could be mental is intellectual. You know what I mean? I don't care. Whatever you define as attractive. We all want somebody attractive to us. We all want to be successful in our endeavors. And we all want enough money to be successful in our lives and not have to worry. And she has done this. Why do you hate her so much? And why do you hate somebody that likes her? Leave Shelby and leave Sarah alone. And Big Titty Liddy. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh. Alright. The holiday bear is going away because the holiday bear is annoyed now. This video has annoyed me. This was not what I wanted. I wanted this video to make me laugh, and I'm now annoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, leave down below. Protect BTL. Big Titty Liddy. Protect BTL. And that just lets me know that you've made it this far and that you're watching, and I can come and say thank you for supporting me. My camera rudely cut us off. I need to figure out how to make it record more than like 20 minutes before it's like, no. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to grow this tiny little channel. I put a lot of work and effort into it, and if you are watching this and you enjoy my content and you don't mind, please remember to hit the subscribe button, give a video a little like and all that. It helps my videos and helps it get seen by other people, and I appreciate all the support from all of you. So thank you again for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this actually made you laugh instead of make you frustrated, which is all it's done for me. This was not my intention, but anyway, save Big Titty Liddy. Thanks so much for watching. I will stop rambling, and I will see you in my next video, whatever that may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think